This might get made into a movie at this point. I don't know. Like I'm gonna have to straight up pitch this with you guys.
Hey, that's fine. We will ride whatever coattails we need.
If this is what opens the doorway to the double issue cinematic universe.
Right.
Hello, and welcome to Double Issue. It's a podcast where we tell stories and world build in a superhero universe. And this week it's a world build episode, and we're going to create some superheroes or something. With me this week is me, Quentin, my co-host, Daniel.
Hey, it's me.
And our guest.
Woo!
Yay.
Do you want to introduce a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Marcel Pérez. I'm in Los Angeles. I am like an independent producer. I'm also the host of a podcast called Giving Credits. And yeah.
It's pretty good. You guys should check it out.
Thank you.
I like it because movies are so much like a part of everyone's lives, but I don't know. Like, I know enough about behind the scenes stuff because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but you don't know all the roles. And that's what that podcast is trying to do, is give you insight into the different small and big roles that you might not know behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful way to put it. I like that. Yeah, we try to, because I mean, I didn't know what a gaffer was until I still feel like I need to know just a little bit more and just to like get my whole hands around it. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. So if you have any random superhero ideas, we can go with that. But we also thought about leaning into your Hollywood connections and making someone that's a movie star or in the industry or something like that. Does any of that interest you? Or
yeah, that sounds cool. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we could make a hero or a villain or a team even.
I feel like a team, when I'm thinking about like reality show and like a team, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like The Bachelors, The Bachelorettes or something.
I made reference once in one of the stories, I can't remember which one, about a reality show that was basically following a superhero team, and they were the Sensational Six, and each power had to do with one of the senses, the sixth sense being ESP.
I like that.
Do we want to dive into that? We already got one hero for that, or one person for that we already have is touch.
Okay.
And that's cup hands, and everything he touches breaks.
That sounds like there'd be a lot of drama with it. I like that.
Yeah. And also like possibly going into the idea that all of their interactions with supervillains and stuff aren't exactly the most candid. Sometimes they're a little bit scripted.
Right. There's just like a producer who is like their manager as well.
Yeah. Do you want to tackle some of the heroes first or go at it from a different angle?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I like that idea where it's like someone who can hear things and they just, I don't know, they're like probably the people who, they like set up everything for the team. It's like, no, I know what's going down. We got to go down this way or something.
Also, we're terrible at naming people. So if you ever have any ideas for names, just shout them out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, cup hands is really good for touch. I'm trying to think of like, for like smell, maybe it's like the nostril or something.
Nostril's pretty good. Oh, the old Kleenex commercial where it's just a giant nose.
Right. Yeah. I like the idea that the villain is like their producer, but they just don't know it yet. Ratings, man.
So did we say something about nostril?
Yeah, the nostril first.
Yeah, I think that works.
Oh, what if they have like a big nose and they've got kind of like wind powers?
Oh,
That's
like sneezing?
Yeah, like big gusts of wind they can blow out through their nose. I don't.
That sounds, yeah, like they, I'm just thinking how like they would have gotten their powers, like they just didn't know at first. And then just one bad sneeze. And they've been trying to like fix themselves or like not fix themselves, but maybe like make up for like a bad accident that happened after like their first sneeze.
Oh, tragic backstory.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's sneezing only, or it's basically a extra powerful nose sneeze is the most like devastating
Yeah.
they can be?
I think that makes sense because you could like blow through your nose and not necessarily sneeze.
Yeah. So, do you think they gotta have like some like pepper nearby always in case they need to trigger it?
Right. And then that would be like a real interesting like fight as well. Like the villain gets to get like they grab the pepper first and then now they're in control.
Yeah. If this is what opens the doorway to the double issue cinematic universe. So on the taste side, have you guys ever read the comic Chew?
No.
I think I read one issue, but that's what I was thinking whenever we said taste.
Like, I don't want to do that, but that's such a good idea. I just have to say, it's this guy can take a bite out of anything and like see into its past.
That's really good.
And so as a detective, it leads to him like chomping on a bit of a dead body to see how the person died.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. I gotta check that out.
See, I was trying to think of what about like just tongue-based powers? He's like a lick-a-tongue over here.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot you could do with it, or like they could eat anything. Oh, that's kind of like gluttony. It sounds like there's a lot of taste-based things already in like comics and stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like hearing would be their like tech person, because you want your eyes and ears on something, right? Like to know what's going on in the world. If you're a superhero team,
That's true.
Yeah.
they can be the twins.
Maybe C is like an internet person or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've got a Cyberwolf, which is our kind of go-to tech hero so far. But this maybe could be more social media based as a superhero.
We could like make them into Watchdog style hackermen
Yeah.
that can like kind of hack into different visual devices. Just imagine them being able to, what if it's less hacker based, but it is still technology based, but they can actually, it's not a hacking thing. It is a weird mind power of they can see through any camera.
Like biotech.
There you go.
I like
And
that.
that would be really powerful with cell phones.
Right. They could just map the whole world basically.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a little bit distance based. Weaker picture for further away.
Oh yeah. Or they're always like looking into pockets for the most part.
Yeah. It would kind of remap your brain, I think, being able to see kind of all over the place in a radius.
Right.
There was a discussion about that on, oh shoot, I just had it. There's a movie about dreaming, but they talk about, in one of the scenes, they're talking about, yeah, I've been working on seeing in every direction at the same time in my dreams.
Oh my god.
And the main character's like, oh, is that weird? Nah, you get used to it.
I guess you would get used to something if that's just the way you are now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Waking Life.
Yeah. I love that movie. What if taste can figure out someone's emotion and like true like what's it called when you, I know they do it in Dungeons and Dragons, like an insight check?
Yeah. Like
Detect Evil.
Yeah, or like
kind of like a licking lasso of truth.
right, yeah, like like this person's good. I lick them. They're legit.
That's really
They're
good.
legit.
I wonder, would it go further to like inanimate things too? Like I can lick this car and see what its defects are.
That's pretty cool.
I could see that. Or maybe it's not a direct like analysis of what's wrong with the car, but like they can taste the truth of this car.
The owner was a real jerk.
But I'm also fine with it just being person based so that they can get kind of like an emotional connection and truthiness vibe. And I did have a thought for the hearing person is what if they just have detachable ears?
Ooh.
They're a bit of the lame one, but but they can kind of like bug someone by sticking their ear in their pocket.
Yeah.
That's almost a He-Man-esque villain there.
How do they get their ears back?
Do they also have just other ears they can put on?
I was like a
Oh, I
Mr.
wonder.
Potato Head.
Yeah.
Mr. Ears Head.
I wonder, like, they open up like a trench coat and they just got like rows and rows of ears.
They go to the ear cave, and he's got a wall of different kinds of ears.
He was a cosplayer back in his day.
These are my pointy elf ears.
Right.
But he's an ear connoisseur. So he knows the difference between a pointy elf ears and a pointy, what is it? Why am I not thinking of it?
Like a kobold or something?
Spock? What it? Spock ears?
A Vulcan?
Vulcan. They're both pointy, but he knows the differences.
And what if, like, their name... So I really like Mr. Earhead, but I don't think they would like it. But it's just the name that the public gives them, that they're like, oh my god, guys, please, like, a cooler name.
And he said his, like, catchphrases, I'm all ears.
I think taste, and maybe because of what I had for breakfast, but I think Lickit's catchphrase would be the taste you can see.
The taste you can see. So I guess maybe then, if that's their catchphrase, then they lick something and then the information doesn't get, like, psychically, it's like visions.
Yeah, like they hallucinate it almost.
Yeah, so they, like, see all of this information visually, and they have to kind of interpret it sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, can they still use their tongue offensively, like a frog? I just like those gross characters that do that.
Yeah.
Like Toad.
That makes sense to me.
Now that I'm thinking about the only really offensive ones are Cup Hands and Nostril.
Yeah.
But you do need a lot of support in a team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're mostly for entertainment values.
Right.
So it might make sense that most of them are weaker as far as offensively.
Yeah, because it would be better for the show if more of it was like, or it'd be cheaper for the show if more of it was mystery solving over action scenes.
Right.
Well, and being a reality show, I thought a lot of it would be like, we're going to the party. I hope Cup Hands doesn't break the keg again.
Well, I think there's 2 layers of it.
Yeah.
There's like the social dynamics, but every week they're solving a case.
Yeah, like
Okay.
it's like a very format-based show.
You know, there's got to be sometimes it's scripted because everyone gets a chance in the episode to showcase their power.
Yeah.
There's always one moment where their power is like what they need.
I'm really interested in the gender dynamics of these characters, like, because you know someone's gonna hook up with someone.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder, like, who is Nostril hooking up with?
Well, Cup Hands is established a dude, I think.
Yeah. But all the others are up for decision.
Right.
I kind of like the idea that Nostril is maybe a tiny lady.
Yeah.
Because it always seems like that's always funny whenever you find a small lady who has a really ginormous sneeze.
Yeah. I think you could do so much with Nostril. I feel like she'd have, like, she gets the flu.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We haven't touched on the mind person yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we need, like, mind reading. I think that would take away from Lickit.
Yeah. Maybe she's just, I say she, but it could be whatever, but maybe they're the mastermind. They're just, like, really, really smart, like the mastermind. I think that'd be cool because maybe they find this intellect that they have, and usually that person would become a villain, but they're just trying really hard to go against that and be a good person.
So are they more like behind the scenes coordinating everyone, or?
Yeah, I don't know. That would make sense to me, like someone that's maybe calling the shots and helping them stay organized in like a battle or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe their power is they can see the future, but it's only ever like an hour or so into the future. Or maybe it's unreliable.
Yeah, because you do have like unreliable narrator as a thing in shows and movies sometimes.
Yeah, there could be a whole episode about them trying to throw a surprise birthday party for him.
Yeah, I like that. That would be a lot of drama. And they don't like their birthday, so they're just constantly trying to put a stop to it.
I think that'd be good.
I mean, that's a pretty cool name also.
Future Sight?
Oh, Future Sight. That is really good. For hearing, what about earlux?
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Is that a thing?
I don't know if it's a thing, but I like it.
All right.
We just need a name for seeing. What if it's like a social
Trying to think of
media-based name?
At the eye.
At all seeing.
Yeah, I like that. And that person would have to be a pretty cool person, right? Because they got to have like a large following on like Twitter and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they got to be like the cool person in that group, I would say.
Every fight, they end it with something like, #the eye. Check out my YouTube video for all my behind-the-scenes takedowns.
Yeah.
So if you got at least a skeleton of the group.
Yeah.
I would watch this show.
We have names for everybody this time around.
Yeah. We mentioned some of the like surrounding people. Do we want to get a few more of those, like producer and stuff like that?
I mean, there needs to be like a cinematographer And like that could be like a one person show if you wanted it to be like the sound and camera person.
Mm-hmm.
But they would obviously be involved in like some of the hijinks.
Like a character that's not on the screen, basically.
Right. Like the person who's like setting up the talking heads and all that.
It's that off-camera character that, Jim's always making eyes at.
Right,
on The Office.
exactly. Yeah. And they probably don't have powers.
I see. So the situation for this group, do they have I'm guessing they have like a beach house or something where they all live collectively?
Right.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's like the typical reality show type house, but also it is like a crime base.
Yeah.
Like they can go underneath and have their like crime lab stuff. And
So then I was wondering if there's maybe a butler character or otherwise like a caretaker,
Yeah.
an Alfred.
It would be a PA.
They're a minor superhero as well called the Gopher that they're always trying to pitch their hero career to other members of the house.
Right. It's like, oh, it's got to be like a writing character who's always trying to pitch like their script or something.
Anytime he comes up in an episode, they just try to be really unobvious about what their position is on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Gary, our good friend and helper.
Yeah.
Not a writer. What are you talking about? This is unscripted.
I like that. It's like pretty meta.
Yeah.
you think on the show they've got those confessional style boots?
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to
got
make
it.
sure.
Talking heads.
A fight scene is going on, and then it just cuts between them all dishing on what everyone else should have been doing.
Yeah. It's like, I can't believe Lickett did that.
I think in every one of those, Earlux should just be super beaten up. It's like, I don't have any offensive powers. Just like mad at everyone else each time.
And I think like, I'm pretty sure a plot would be that a villain gets a hold of the camera person. Probably take hostage the camera person at some point.
Ah.
That's really good.
So all the action's going on, but they're just like out in a room
Right.
out of the way.
But the camera's still rolling.
That's pretty good.
That would be a fun episode.
That's one of the less scripted ones.
Right.
Because I don't think they want to have not all of the action on the camera.
Yeah. It's their live episode. I'm trying to think of like what other villains there would be.
Like there's going to be some that are like scripted villains, and those would probably be more thematically appropriate.
What about one of the unscripted villains is a team of YouTube villains?
Yes.
And they're just trying to prank the show. But because they're super villains, like their pranks are all terrible and like destroy parts of the city.
A super villain prank show.
And it's like similar but legally distinct Paul Logan.
Yes.
Yeah, it may not even be like straight up super villain, just superpowered jerk.
Well, and they're like, okay, bros, we've set this car to explode the second the six senses come out of brunch. This is gonna be great.
We're gonna get so many views, bro.
Like, that's not a prank, that's just awful.
Yeah. Do it for the Vine. I would need to play one of those roles. Oh, and then there's got to be like advertisers or something.
What do you mean?
When they do like a plug or something for like an energy drink. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a villain or just an auxiliary character now that I'm thinking about it. But
Yeah, I like that idea that they would put like brand endorsement, but I don't know if they do it on the villains.
Right.
I don't think the brands would like that.
What if an energy drink began making people into monsters, and it's one of the ones they promote on the show?
Yeah, that's a good episode. And their producer's like, no, you guys, we need these endorsements.
No, this was after. So one of the people said something terrible on the show, and so the energy drink dropped them as a sponsor. And then soon after, they had the episode where they fought this villain that was created from energy drinks.
It's like a dish on the company afterwards.
Yeah.
And at the end, they're just, we can't say it was the brand energy drink that turned this person into a monster. But we do know that they drank it and they did turn into a monster.
Right.
Why did my ears start back up? Turn off. I think it got confused.
hacker getting into your Google Nest.
Yeah.
It's the at the eye.
Oh, there's a story idea. Their smart home beach house goes on the fritz because of like a tech hero or tech villain attacking them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's like the nemesis for at the eye.
Oh, I got a good name for him. The Disruptor.
Ooh, yes. Tech disrupt, yeah.
Oh, we talked briefly about like inner team relationships, and I don't know who, but I feel like Cup Hands has to be in a relationship with someone because that dynamic always works well of I can't touch you, but we want to touch.
Right. Can people touch Cup Hands?
Just not his hands.
Yeah.
Just not so they can touch. And then what about Lick, Get, and Cup Hands?
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Weird dynamic.
What if Lickit is sort of a it's not Miley, is it Miley Cyrus that does the tongue thing?
Yeah.
Or is that somebody else?
Yeah, it's Miley Cyrus.
But more the concept of they're kind of a like pop idol.
They're like, I whip my tongue back and forth.
What?
Do you have tongue whip on here?
Oh.
And I was combining, I whip my tongue back and forth. I whip my tongue back and forth.
Oh. Gotcha. Yeah. That's one of their hit singles.
No. I mean, it does make sense with the tongue being their thing and them being like a singer.
Yeah.
I think Earlux needs to be involved in something like a love triangle. Like a love triangle where Earlux like puts their ears somewhere to like listen in.
Oh, yeah. I feel like he's probably just stashing ears everywhere. Like, do you think he's limited to 2 or...
I think he's got to have a limit just because that would make him go crazy, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
What if it's like a tech thing, and so he's got on his phone the different ears he can activate? So it's 2 at a time, but
yeah,
he's got a bunch he can go through.
And then that's a good episode with the Disruptor because then the Disruptor's just going to turn on all those ears at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know how it works, but I do want a villain to put them in a place that the villain calls the sensory deprivation chamber. I don't know more than that, but...
Somewhere where their powers don't work.
It's their, what do you call it when all the characters are locked in a single room for an episode to save money?
A bottle episode.
Oh, that makes that Teen Titans episodes make so much more sense. They get trapped in an actual bottle.
Yeah. But wouldn't Cup Hands really like being in a sensory deprivation chamber if that like dampens his powers?
If it's a really small room, maybe he's just really afraid of touching someone.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole episode he just has his hands like up in the air.
Yeah, if it's real small, that's bad for him.
But he should just be able to touch the walls and get out, unless that's part of the...
Yeah, maybe the walls are like resistant to the powers or something.
He's like, the walls are resistant, but I can just touch the lock and I can break it. And then he does, and then they're like stuck for good.
Yeah. It would be in a soundstage. Oh, that'd be interesting if a villain made a soundstage like replica of their house.
Oh man, that's real good.
And then they're just like, this is weird, like this isn't where I put this last night.
Yeah. So like kind of like a Mysterio type villain of just things aren't what they seem. To go back briefly, I think maybe Earlux in the sensory deprivation chamber. The ears, like he's separated from the device that lets him choose the ears, and he just can't hear anything in that room. Like he was locked onto ears outside.
So the whole episode, he's just like yelling.
What?
Yeah.
To jump back to the soundstage idea, I think it'd be amazing if they say something and there's a laugh track, and they all like take a step back.
They're like,
where'd that even come from?
yeah,
Who's there?
that would be really good.
Oh, what if that's like a fired producer coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I was gonna say it's an associate producer.
It's like, I know what this show needs. Like they wouldn't listen to my ideas, and so now I'm gonna prove that my idea was better.
Yeah.
And also kill these guys because I'm a villain.
He's like, this is the series finale.
Yeah.
At some point, their ratings should be dropping.
Yeah.
And so they have an episode that's just a like Sweeps Week episode where they're trying to cram as much fan service into one episode. And so the villain is ratings.
It's Nielsen.
Yeah, but maybe part of their problem is they weren't looking at their online ratings.
Right, which is very common.
There's got to be like that season before it gets canceled. They like move to New York to spice everything up.
What network would this be on?
I don't even know. It's got to be like a cable network, right?
Yeah, I think because you could do a lot of jokes kind of like 30 Rock does with like NBC.
I could almost see it being maybe MTV or TMZ,
Yeah.
where like it's a lot more sensational, if you will.
Or it would be like instead of BET, it's just HERO, the Hero Network. Or HRO does sound good too, because that's like HBO.
What if one of the villain groups is a team of evil supervillains that are all parents, and they think this show sets a bad example for their kids?
Yes, totally yes.
They've got to have some acronym, kind of like the Mothers Against Drunk Driving type.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt these guys for a minute to say a few things. One, this isn't a story episode like you might have thought it was going to be. I'm in the middle of trying to get moved to a new place, and these ones are easier to do, so we switch things around. Next week should be our Tabula Rasa stories. If not, I apologize in advance, but don't be surprised if it isn't. Two, I interrupted them at this exact moment because the conversation that ensues about making an acronym and out of a word, it's not very entertaining, and part of it relies on everyone typing in the same Google Docs document, and then also we didn't exactly narrate all those. But the point of the conversation got to is there's a section where Daniel thought it would be funny if the acronym didn't actually match the letters in the acronym. And that's the main takeaway out of all of that. But that was spread out across many minutes, and it felt more expedient to put an ad break here so you guys didn't have to hear that. And three, ad break.
That's my brother, Mason, the winner Williams.
And that's my brother, Luke Isosceles Triangle Williams. We're both brothers.
And inventors.
And geniuses.
Every Thursday, wow, that's generous. Every Thursday we invent something brand new before your ears. So check out Hey, I've Got an Idea Show wherever you get your podcasts or at higaishow.com.
Hooray!
We did it. Advertisement done.
Mort, mothers opposed to unrealistic super teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if you did parents, it'd be port.
Oh, there you go.
They operate like off of like a pier.
Port. Okay.
We never really set the location. Are we thinking East or West Coast?
I mean,
I defaulted like Jersey, but
it could be anywhere, right? Like, it doesn't really matter because you have like real world anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
basically.
I was thinking West Coast when you said beach house, but
Yeah, and I'm thinking like if you had it in LA, like in Hollywood, that would be a lot of funny episodes you could have, like running into fans and stuff. Trying to get like a star on like the Sunset Strip or the Hollywood Strip rather.
yeah, I think that works pretty well.
Could be some episodes where maybe Nostril's up for a part on a big movie and everyone's mad at her.
Yeah. She's like, sorry guys, my agents, they got this really good gig opportunity.
They're trying to sabotage it.
Yeah.
Like if she makes it big.
That week's episode has an unscripted villain that's trying to attack the team, but he's always in the background, failing, kind of Mr. Magoo style.
Yeah.
They're all unaware of him.
Because they're focused on trying to sabotage their own teammate. Okay. We kind of don't know a whole lot about Earlux, and we kind of don't know a whole lot about Future Sight.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Earlux as just like a very sad person. They always seem to be at the bottom of the team's abilities.
I see.
And you said them always being
as-
beat up. Like that feels like it would just compound into
I think the producers brought Earlux on because they needed an ear or hearing based hero, and most hearing based heroes are like werewolf characters who already have other powers, and it's not hearing only.
Yeah.
Right.
So they brought earlucks on just because they're the only hearing-based hero they could find.
What if it was a bionic man type situation? Like he got in an accident and they were like, we can give you ears, but they gotta be bionic ears and you gotta be on our show. So he's like locked into a contract. Otherwise he
Yeah.
owes a ton of money for these state of the art ears.
I think you can make him more offensive based too if he had ears that blew up.
Ear batterings.
Yeah, exactly.
But he can hear it every time it happens and it's always unpleasant.
Yeah, because between At the Eye and Future Sight, earlucks is kind of like not that useful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's got the range, so he could kind of use his ear as like a tracking device if someone's getting away.
Oh, it's straight up a tracking device.
He could have other weird uses like his grappling hook ear,
Yeah.
So he's
like just really gross.
He's kind of whatever they need for the episode. They give him a new ear, and he's
Yeah.
always got a new gadget ear.
So he uses his grappling hook ear because the producers are making him use it. And people are trying to like climb onto him and then have him wheel up the side of the building, and it's just going awful. And then somebody's like, oh, the door's just open. We can just go in. And he's just stuck out there hanging from his ear.
Now I'm thinking about like merchandise.
Yeah.
Because like it'd be a cool episode if like they each get like their action figures of themselves and Earlux is just disappointed.
The ears don't stay attached.
Right, exactly. Like it's just like not well made.
It comes with like 100 tiny action figure ears that you lose like 90%
Yeah.
of them immediately.
And it's got to be the kind of thing that like you step on it and it feels terrible.
Half of them are weirdly sharp.
People keep stepping on them the whole time.
They accidentally write on his action figure like box like Mr. Earhead.
Definitely.
I feel like we have a pretty good balance of girls to guys on the team. So maybe Future Sight could be a guy.
Yeah.
What if they're non-binary?
Well, there you go.
Oh, there you go. How did they get their powers?
They fell into a vat of clocks.
Got bitten by a radioactive clock.
It's such a weird power to see 1 hour into the future.
Well, and that's like as far as superhero powers go, that seems even like the most realistic.
Yeah.
As far as like,
Yeah.
I don't know, a guy flying unassisted's weird and it's hard to make that work. But having like slight future sight seems plausible.
What if it's not really future sight as much as it's like alternate possibilities kind of thing? Like they were like a quantum professor, like quantum like engineer or something like that.
There was a show I watched as a kid that was like that early CG animation stuff.
Oh, was it Max Steel?
I think that's it. I tried to look it up as Action Max.
He didn't have time powers. He had math powers.
Max Steel show.
He would do the calculations for how something would work.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right one, but he would see like a path of different things. Like if I do this and this and this,
Oh.
this is how it would work out.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think because they see the future, like there's no way, even if it's an hour in the future, there's no way it's concrete. Like it would change depending on what people do. Otherwise, like there's no free will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need some complication on it.
Right.
Yeah, and we do have a character who has like time powers that are sort of similar. Like he can travel through different possibilities in like a 30-minute time window. So I was trying to just differentiate it from that.
What if future sight can only live an hour in the future perpetually?
Else they're always seeing like
Yeah, like they've got
an hour
like,
ahead.
Their physical presence is lagging an hour to like what they're seeing and knowing.
Hearing, maybe. Yeah.
That's so
It's
weird.
got to be like a knowing thing. Yeah, it's real strange. But I think it'd be funny, like they say something and then everyone's like, what? And then later on it makes perfect sense, but they're still an hour ahead.
Yeah. So I wonder how they would actually like use their power then.
I mean, I think in a fight it would be helpful because you could Like, okay, they're gonna try to punch me this way in the next few seconds, and that's pretty easy to determine. But if they're always stuck in the future,
Yeah, they would have to always be saying what happened an hour ago in helpful situations.
Yeah, this one's
they could be kind of the gothy friend, and during regular conversations, they're like, "Yeah, you won't think about that in an hour."
yeah. This one's so tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do it simple, like they can see an hour into the future sometimes, but they don't know if they just know that's a possibility.
Yeah. Like, I wonder, this is weird. It's like bending my mind to try to think of how it would work.
What
What if they got like one eye that can see into the future?
I'll just say, what if it's a straight like overview? The future is superimposed over their sight now.
They like, oh, that'd be kind of cool because then they would walk kind of weird sometimes, like they would trip or something.
Yeah.
But I do wonder about that thing. Whenever they see something and it changes it, what happens to their vision or whatever? Is it
like,
immediately
get a headache?
Yeah, is it like immediately they absorb the knowledge of the past hour based on that change?
That person would not get very much sleep.
Because I wonder then if they would usually try not to change the future if it is very disorienting and everything.
Yeah, like they don't tell people everything that's going on because it's like makes them real queasy every time something changes.
Yeah. And so they only actually choose to act in vital moments.
Right.
Well, and they're only seeing what's going on. They don't know everything about it.
That's true.
Too. I was trying to think. Like, they can see a scene, but they don't know if it's good or bad. They just know in context something's going on.
Yeah.
What if we just make him into Max Steel?
It's just they can do math really good. I mean, that works.
One thing I was thinking is, with this character, it doesn't necessarily need to be part of the team right away. Like, it could be like the, kind of like in Power Rangers, the Green Ranger was bad at first.
Yeah.
But for this character, it's like accidental. Like, they don't mean to be evil. They just happen to be doing things because of their power, and they're not able to deal with it very well.
The first episode is just called like the Sensational Five.
Yeah.
And then that's their first episode is Future Sight being their villain. After they defeated him, he shows up at the apartment, or they show up at the apartment later. And like, what are you doing here? I foresaw that you would just let me stick around if I came up.
I got signed on.
So what if they do the sight is always overlaid, but it is one eye, so that they can have like an eye patch.
Oh, okay.
And they can kind of switch the, like, close the eye and lift up the eye patch to see.
And like
the eye that sees in the future should be kind of staticky or look weird.
Yeah.
like Mad Eye Moody-ish.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they do to keep from, like there is a bunch of, like, headaches and queasiness whenever they change things. So they try to ignore it most of the time.
Yeah.
No, Daniel.
I'll remove goth from the possibilities.
So we've got, like, one relationship in the team. I was thinking maybe, like, the eye could be the person that just sleeps with the whole team, basically. Like, they're into just whatever. And so that
checks out.
also just causes a bunch of chaos. Like, they're just into whoever they're into at the moment.
Yeah, they're like a serial polygamist.
Yeah. And it doesn't bother them. But it definitely screws with the relations of everyone else on the team.
Right. Like, they're not really good at being like, hey, like, this is what I'm about.
Yeah. They aren't into privacy as much, because to them nothing is private, really.
Right.
But it's kind of also one way, and they don't realize that.
So what if Earlux then, during their bionic surgery, got the like perfect beach body, so they look really beautiful, but they are still the person they were before the bionic surgery. So they get all this attention that they're not used to.
Yeah.
And that's helps give them something like non-hero-y that they do.
That they deal with.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I wonder who Nostril would be into, because I feel like she could be into anyone.
Yeah. Maybe she's the one that we kind of portrayed her as maybe an actress. Maybe she kind of dates famous people and doesn't deal with the inter-team relationships.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not gonna deal with that.
You guys are D-listers.
She's super private about her relationships, but every now and again in an episode, somebody like an A-list star will show up to take them out.
Yeah.
So it's like their guest spot for that episode is,
Yeah.
oh, my new boyfriend, Brad Pitt's showing up later. Just let him know when I'm here whenever he gets here.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Oh, no, I'm just a writer on a different show who just shares the name Brad Pitt. I'm not actually the actor.
But I am part of the WGA.
I have to spell my name different. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Bad Pit.
Bad Pitt.
Does anyone have any, like, we like to do comic book covers? Any moments we've done so far that seem like they might be a good comic book cover moment? Or just any image that comes to you? And sometimes we can get a little bit of story out of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think an action shot would be kind of cool. Or maybe like half action shot, half like reality show, like a common thing that happens on a reality show.
Yeah. There's obviously a room for like a tabloid type cover.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like an e-weekly thing.
yeah. Like one of the heroes putting their like hand up to the camera type deal.
Yeah.
Don't take a picture of me with some salacious headline. I think all of them being crowded close together for that sensory deprivation chamber moment
Yeah.
could be like an interesting.
Yeah, like cup hands with his hands in the air.
Like
I mean, you could have so many comic book covers from the episodes, like Nostril having a flu.
Mm.
She's just holding like a giant handkerchief.
Oh, this is kind of unrelated, but I bet Nostrils are a clean freak.
Yeah.
Just like
I can see that.
we shouldn't have any dust in the air. Like, make sure everyone's, like, got the unscented cleaners.
She's in charge of the chores. She's giving everybody what chores to do.
Yes. Because I think also with that, she has a good sense of smell. So, like, you guys didn't take out the trash. I can smell it from my
Right.
room.
She's like, I know you missed a spot.
Yeah.
She's like, Lickit, you gotta take out the trash. And so Lickit uses her tongue to grab the trash bag and just toss it off the balcony.
But she's also like, ugh, that was gross.
I think everyone is like, oh, that's gross with Lickit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's her, quote, rock star personality.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of like she doesn't have normal taste, so things that taste bad don't necessarily taste bad to her.
She can like, maybe she can suppress it at will.
Yeah, so it's not gross for her to use her tongue to like pick something up and from the floor, and so she doesn't have to bend over.
You know, she's the cook of the house, though.
Ooh, yeah.
Her and Earluck should have like a secret rivalry about who's the best cook.
Yeah.
He's just awful at it, but they keep putting him up to it.
Just imagine like Cup Hands doing chores, and he's really good at taking out the garbage.
He just turns it into dust. Just
Right.
I like a cover where he's trying to mop and the mop is broken and he's like, oh.
It's my turn this week.
What about an Archie throwback cover where it's Lickit doing her rock star thing and everyone's having to fill in to be the band?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to go into which members of the band each person would be. We already did that on the Monster episode.
Oh my god. That would be good though.
Okay, let's go into it.
Because like At the Eye is like their DJ, right?
Sure.
Cup Hands could be working the turntable with his elbows.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was thinking Cup Hands as the drummer, and he's just constantly getting new sticks.
Every time he's breaking them.
Yeah. Lickit is a guitarist.
Those hot licks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And there's like that part of the show she always puts the guitar on the stage and then like plays it with the tongue.
Right. Maybe this is how they got signed on for the show originally. It's because they were in a band.
Yeah, I don't know if they could actually play in a band, but it is a good cover.
Yeah. They try it out for an episode and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think they would, like, the rest of the team would be terrible at all of their things.
Right.
Well, At the Eye could be on the tambourine.
Future Sight is never on beat.
Like they play the piano and they're doing amazing. They're just, seeing an hour ahead, so they're having trouble.
Yeah. Cool. Earlux.
Maybe
The vocalist?
Earlux is like secretly really good at one of the things, but they don't let him do the thing. They're like, you gotta be our sound guy.
It's on the soundboard.
Yeah.
But he's just like the best singer ever.
Yeah. But he just doesn't have a mic.
They put him on the soundboard and he's like, and they're like, just do it. But at the end you hear him just like alone, just sad singing the most beautiful sounding song.
Yeah. And then they never reference it again.
Or every time he starts singing, like in the shower, everyone's just, what is that sound? Like really just overly mad about it for no reason. Maybe Nostril's the bass because she keeps the team on track.
Nostril plays 2 trumpets.
Oh, with her nose?
Why do you need 2 trumpets?
It's like one's a trumpet, one's a saxophone.
Oof, a reed instrument
Yeah.
on a nose is hard.
Not for the nostril.
It's true.
I feel like every time we come up with a team now, we have to determine their band configuration. Do you got any more covers?
I thought about one that's a promotional thing where they're trying to push Earlux, and it's him swinging in on his ear grappling hook, but it's super unrealistic.
Yeah. It just hurts him a lot as he's like trying to swing.
Oh, yeah. It's like wincing as he comes in.
Right.
Hey, kids.
Oh, you know it'd be a cool comic cover? It's like 6 panels of each of them in front of the camera for the talking head moment.
Yeah, that works really well. I don't know if I can think of many covers just because of how we've been thinking about it as a show.
Yeah, it's weird to try to flip it back to be a comic. What about one where everybody's in the house just like chatting, and in the middle it's Future Sight, like looking really worried, and then out of their eye is the vision of the future where they're all in peril?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know there'd be an issue where they're babies, like the baby version of them. Muppet babies.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good group here.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah. Want to wrap this up then?
If you pitch this, just let us know.
No, I will. Of course.
Do you want to plug your stuff once more?
Well, yeah, you can listen to me on Giving Credits. We have a website or on iTunes, Google, all that good stuff. Usually every other Wednesday I release an episode. And I'm on Twitter between the Marcel and me or at Giving Credits, whichever one.
Yeah.
Cool. You can follow me on Twitter as @Guer. And you can also find some of the games I've made on guer.itch.io.
And you can find me at Quentin Pongratz, but I don't tweet anything.
You
I'm
tweet
just kidding.
something.
I tweeted about my run today. You can find art by Lisa Prather, or the art is by Lisa Prather. You can find more of her stuff at lisapratherart.com and Instagram, Lisa Prather Art.
Our theme song is Freeharmonics by the Freeharmonic Orchestra. Our social media links, emails, Twitter, website, WordPress, it's all going to be in the description below.
As well as links to everything Marcel related. You can find all of his links. I'll find them all and post them in the description for you guys. Because I hate when a show is like, go follow me on Twitter, and I'm like at work, and I'm just, I can't right now. Search that. Give me a link. Marcel, do you want to give us a story prompt for the next story we do?
Based off of this stuff, or just like
anything.
totally different? Anything? What about everyone's turned into drinks?
I love it. Sweet. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
It was a really good one.
Oh, I'm like ready to pitch this show now. Like, this is such a fun topic to go into.
Yeah. And if you need any more ideas for shows, we'll have you back on and make something else.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think Seth MacFarlane is already getting ready to put the demo out on TV this week, and Fox is already going to cancel it.
Who's going to save us?
Come on, Hulu. Probably Crackle.
No. VRV.co.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.